What's going on, my friends? I'm Vio, and welcome to another episode of Nerds from Hell. Today, I'm joined by my buddy Jaime, aka Fire Fist. I'm joined by Mr. J Rocks from Till the End of the Line podcast, who's behind the camera. And today, man, so much bullshit to talk about, man. First of all, thank you for being on the show. Thanks for coming by.
No problem.
The Boys season 4. I'm sure you guys saw the trailer. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Today's episode, I mainly want to talk about wrestling. Whole bunch of shit going on, and my buddy over here is a huge wrestling fan, so I feel like,
Big time.
yep. So I feel like right now is the perfect opportunity to, just talk about some wrestling, man. It's all right. So let's get to it. But first, let me light this bitch up.
When did you start watching wrestling?
I've been watching wrestling ever since I can remember.
Yeah.
I don't have a first memory because I just always remember watching wrestling. So
Was it you that got yourself into it or something?
I have no idea.
Really?
I just remember watching wrestling.
Oh.
I don't know how I got into it. I don't know anything. I just always been watching it.
Okay.
Yeah. This is one of those.
What was one of the first matches you can remember watching?
I remember watching early Bret Hart.
Nice.
Oh, that's
That's as early as I can remember. And
that's pre-attitude.
and and Undertaker when he was like in the weird purple with the
Yeah.
tie and stuff.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's
Where he was like more undead than anything. Yeah.
That's still the golden era.
That's my
technically.
that's my earliest memories of
Okay.
WWE. Yeah, WWF, whatever you want to call it.
Me, I'd say Attitude Era is definitely when I started watching it.
Yeah.
Hardy Boys.
Yeah.
Well, they were definitely the ones that got me into it.
Yeah, no, that was definitely a good era. That's where a lot of people got into it during the whole Monday Night Wars and stuff like that.
Mhm.
The Monday Night Wars.
Because that was when it was big.
Have you gotten a chance to see the actual documentary on Peacock?
No.
Monday Night Wars. It's good.
I heard it's good.
It's good. It's really good.
I like to avoid WWE documentaries because they tend to like narrate how they want it to look like it happened.
Oh.
Understandable.
Yeah, they do that a lot. Because if you go based off what they say, it's a completely different story of what actually happened.
Have you met any wrestlers?
Oh yeah.
Who have you met?
CM Punk,
Of course.
Eric Bischoff, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega. I met
They're
a
all
lot of
they're all
people.
AEW.
Tommy Dreamer.
people.
Well, it's the people that go to the cons.
And it's still
Yeah.
they're still wrestlers.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're still wrestlers.
Uh-huh.
It's the people that go. A bunch of people,
Yeah. Nice.
People that go to the cons. Yeah.
I got to meet. Well, he's gonna ask later, but the top 5. I got to meet one of my top 5.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I don't think I met everyone in my top 5 ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, do you guys have can you name top 5 favorite wrestlers?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter any era.
Me personally, number 1 is Ric Flair. I'm a big Ric
Okay.
Flair fan.
I did not.
That's a
Okay.
solid
I
number
didn't
one.
expect
That's a
that one.
solid
Ric
but
Flair's
yeah,
number one
I
for
could
sure.
agree. Now, is that because of his in-ring talent or just as a character? Or
Well, I'm mostly a character fan. But
Character fan,
I
okay.
love
Dude,
character.
If you're talking about character, Ric Flair is probably the best
Yeah.
to do it. I saw this one clip where he's just over exaggerating in the ring,
Yeah.
where he gets hit and then he's like he takes like 8 steps. And
Yeah.
shit,
Yeah, man.
and then boom, he falls down. It's the
And
funniest
here's
shit.
another person on my list, Stone Cold. If you think about Stone Cold, he couldn't fucking wrestle. Well, he used to be able to wrestle when he got hurt. After he got hurt, he couldn't do shit.
Mhm.
But he was like the most popular guy ever.
hence his retirement match. He was actually, I believe, in the hospital that day
Yeah.
for WrestleMania 19.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I don't want to go out like that. So he decided to, get out the hospital, come
Yeah.
wrestle The Rock. And those last few bumps he took towards the end of the match, you can fucking hear that pain that he's
Yeah.
in. And
I don't remember that that he was in the oh wow.
well, yeah, no, it's funny. It's crazy because
He was really hurt.
yeah,
He
a
was
lot of shit. You don't notice or see that until now because of all these documentaries that they
Yeah.
got going on.
Well, yeah, now they do all the backstory and all the backstage stuff, and it's a lot different now to realize what they went to and all that stuff like that.
Mhm.
I got a bunch of stories about all the backstage.
So you
stuff.
said Ric Flair, Stone Cold.
Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels, The Rock, and even though I don't like it, Hogan.
Okay.
Oof.
All right.
That's the one thing about Hogan is you don't like him, but you know damn well what he's done for the company.
Dude,
he
he's
changed the business
he's,
twice.
Yeah, dude, he's
Yeah.
a godfather of wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, you
It-
gotta have him. Like,
you
he's
have to.
definitely all
It's
in.
just his ego is
He's a
what.
piece of shit, but
Dude, I mean, a lot of greats are,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but he
That's
did
what
so
kind of
much.
makes them great, yeah.
Juan, do you know why he's a piece of shit?
Do I know personally?
Hogan,
No.
yeah. Okay. See,
I don't
that's
know,
another
like, the
thing.
actual
Where do you
story.
start?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Well, before we get into anything else, who's your top
Alright,
five?
so my top five, number one of all time, would have to be Jeff Hardy for obvious reasons. The High Flyer, Team Extreme. This hairdo was actually inspired by Jeff Hardy.
Nice.
As a kid, I just always wanted to be in the Hardy Boys, man. You know, I would catch myself doing the
same.
Swamp Time off the fucking
Yeah.
couch.
Yeah.
Had a crush on Lita.
Still do.
Same.
Oh yeah. I never forgive her what she did to Matt Hardy. Still, man. I take that
That's
shit.
crazy.
I take that
That's
shit
crazy.
personal.
It's real.
He told me that shit was real. I was
Yeah,
like, dude, I
it's
thought that
real.
was scripted.
Yeah, so I actually mentioned the whole Jeff Hardy and Edge, affair to him. He
Yeah.
didn't know that it was a real life like.
I thought it was
situation.
scripted. Dude. I
Yeah,
thought it was
no,
part
no.
of the whole thing.
It happened backstage. They fired Matt because of it. And then Vince McMahon's like, "Hey, you want to come back and we'll do this whole storyline?" And they did a storyline about it.
But it
That's
backfired.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean they do shit like that all the time. It's crazy.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of shit like
That's
that.
kind of what they're doing now with CM Punk.
No, I mean he's legit. He got fired.
Yeah.
He's legit fired.
So, well, you said
Yeah.
Jeff Hardy has to be number
So
one.
Jeff Hardy, number two, Kane.
I do like King. Yeah.
King's
Yeah, Kane. I prefer Kane over Undertaker.
Me
It's
too.
just not because of like the whole story, brother. Being in Hell Demon and whatnot. Just think about it. You had Isaac Yankem. Before Isaac Yankem, you had
He was fake Diesel.
Fake Diesel.
Yeah.
Before Fake Diesel, was it Unibomb?
Oh,
Unabomber, was
something
it?
bomber. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
something with the Unabomber. I
mhm.
remember.
Yeah, so he's been around, like, he's fought Undertaker plenty of times before he was even the King character. Glenn Jacobs, man, absolute legend. Mayor now, but still a legend.
Mm.
Number three, I have to say Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of me and my worth ethic. Like, he's a fucking asshole, especially during the Attitude Era.
He was
He,
coked up, man.
Yup, one of the worst people. One of the most
Piece of
complicated
shit.
people
Yeah.
to work with. Yeah, no,
piece of shit.
nobody liked working with them. But when it came to being in the ring, probably one of the best performers.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of put it to great use with the X. You know,
Yeah.
like it's
Mhm.
just like he's a perfect person to be
Yeah.
running that shit.
Oh yeah. That was next.
So,
Four,
yeah.
Triple H.
Yeah.
Triple H, metalhead. That simple.
Yeah.
And
Good reason.
plus what he's done now for the company, can't really blame him. And number five, who's actually my current favorite wrestler in this era, Seth Rollins.
Okay.
I said a new era.
Another metalhead.
Well,
Bears fan too.
I guess a honorable mention is Brock Lesnar. Oh, and Kurt Angle.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Those two.
Other great
Dude,
talents.
Kurt Angle is one of the toughest fucking guys. Did you hear the story about in the Olympics?
Oh
when he
yeah.
was
No,
wrestling?
that was his whole thing.
When he
That
shattered
was
his
whole
fucking
thing.
what was it? What
His neck.
his neck?
He broke his neck.
He broke his neck and still wrestled it.
Yeah, he
like,
did. I
dude,
think-
And he won. Yeah.
And he won the gold medal. They
Yeah.
just shot him up and he went. And
he's
he won.
like, dude, you're gonna be in crazy amount of pain, but I'll make it to where you can wrestle.
So did you
So
hear?
he did, and then afterward he goes, fucking,
Did you hear what happened after WWE? Why they got rid of him?
No.
Yes. I barely found out though.
No,
you,
what?
you probably don't know.
He was popping pills like crazy.
He was an addict,
Yeah.
60 something pills a day he was popping.
but you didn't really see that or notice it until he was already in TNA
Yeah.
outside of WWE.
Oh yeah.
So he left WWE.
What was he popping?
Oh, anything.
Painkillers.
Perks, Vipes.
Mostly
Oh,
painkillers.
shit.
Yeah, mostly painkillers. The perks.
So
Vipes.
if
Very
it was
good.
a pill for him, he was
He was
popping
taking it.
Oh,
He said he
shit.
was up to 64, 63 a day. It's a lot.
Dude, how is he alive?
I don't know. Well, same with Ric
What
Flair. How's
the
Ric Flair alive?
Still taking bumps and shit.
Ric Flair's
man.
still taking bombs. He's
Oh my god, dude, that dude's like 80 years
Yeah, he
old.
was at AEW a couple weeks ago and they shoved him down on the ground and he took the bump. Yeah.
Oh my god.
He wants to die in the ring, he said.
Yeah.
And he
So
might.
so J-Rock, terminology for wrestling, taking a bump just means like, you're getting hit.
Oh,
Yeah, I fucking know, dude.
Well-
I'm a wrestling fan.
if I use certain words, you can
I
ask
know
me to
what
explain.
you're talking about, yeah.
Well, but I mean, when I go more into detail, if I use certain words, just
okay.
ask me.
Yeah. I know what the fuck it means.
Alright, man.
Yeah.
Fuck. Anyways.
I'm not a
what-
total fucking rookie. when it
Alright,
comes to-
what are your fucking top five?
So we have the same number one. Jeff Hardy is my favorite wrestler.
Okay.
I didn't see.
Hardy
I
Boys.
didn't know that.
Hardy Boys were my fucking guys,
Yeah.
dude. Second, probably I'm gonna go with Stone Cold,
Yeah.
just because what he did for that generation.
Yeah.
And then just his fucking whole
His
persona
whole
in the ring.
character. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, the beers, just fucking
See, I was-
fuck you to the man.
I was stuck between him and Kane for my number 2.
Yeah. Number 3. Fuck. Who was my number 3?
Oh fuck.
I liked X-Pac for a while, but he's not my top 5.
A lot of people liked him.
I did. At the beginning, but then he
I
kind
like
of
1, 2,
started
3
getting weird.
kid, but not X Pac.
He was popular for some reason.
Yeah. Damn, my number 3. Who was my number 3? Probably Triple H.
Yeah.
I'll go Triple H. Just because, I mean, he was a fucking boss, dude.
You gotta
He
give
was
him his props.
Yeah.
You gotta give him his props.
Yeah.
A lot of bullshit, but you gotta give him his
Yeah.
props.
Then probably The Rock, number 4, just because he's hilarious on
Yeah.
the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking great.
Just a funny
great
person.
person. Yeah, he's
just a
great.
funny person.
And he was good in the ring, man.
Yeah.
5, and I'm surprised you guys went all male. You gotta represent some of the women, man. Lita, dude.
Really?
Lita's my top.
I mean, I love a lot
She
of.
not only was she like, nice to look at, but she was fucking putting out moves, dude.
Compared
Like
to the
she
other
was,
ones, yeah.
dude, she was keeping up with with Jeff damn near. She's flying off that ring, and I got to meet her.
Yeah.
And that she was
at
the
top,
fucking
yeah.
dude. She was the
Mhm.
nicest fucking woman. Like she was so fucking nice. She was the coolest person. Yeah.
I bet she is, but if I look at her in the
Oh
eyes,
my
I'm just
God.
I
You
know
just
what,
can't
I'm
get
over it.
I know what you did. Like,
It happened.
Talk about fanboy. You know what I mean? Like, dude,
Uh,
relax about it.
They both moved on.
Yeah.
All three of them.
They're
moved
probably
on.
all best friends
Yeah,
still and
yeah,
shit.
they
He's
are.
like,
They are,
you
they
broke
are.
his
They are.
heart.
Yeah.
You had no
Alright.
idea what was going on,
Alright,
really.
let's make it let's make it a more interesting list. Top 5 least favorite wrestlers.
Least favorite?
Yeah,
I
like
don't know if I have a top
like-
5.
Oh, I can tell you number 1.
like-
Cody Rhodes. Hate him.
what?
Hate him.
Damn! I did,
Hated
shit,
him.
I did not see that.
Yeah.
I hate him in AEW.
Why though?
I just don't like him.
In
Just don't
AEW too?
I hated him in AEW. I don't like. Okay, so I don't like the goody wrestlers. Remember I was
See?
talking to you about John Cena?
Mhm.
See, I'm not a fan of him, but I don't hate him.
I
Yeah.
hate him. He's a fucking hypocrite. He's a bullshitter. I just don't like him. I never liked him. Well, ever since he became like a top star, I've never liked him. I don't know who else to add to the list, but he's definitely up there. I hate him.
What about you?
CM Punk.
Oh, gosh. But alright, but you have to have a valid reason. What's the reason you don't like him?
I mean, I don't understand why people do like him. He's just, from what I've heard, he's just a dick, like at work.
It's like his song, The Cult of Personality. It's just a charming person.
But
charismatic person.
personally, the man just he's a Cubs fan.
It's a valid reason.
He's if you're from Chicago, then you understand that rivalry, man.
Like 100 years ago.
Yeah. Now, like, I married a Sox fan and I'm a Cubs fan, dude. Like, it's not.
So what it was actually, aside from that, so when I first got back into wrestling, back in I want to say 2009, SmackDown versus Raw 2009,
Yeah.
CM Punk was on the cover. I didn't know who all these wrestlers were,
Right.
So
He's a metalhead, by the way.
yeah, at the time, I noticed that he was the one beefing with Jeff Hardy because Jeff Hardy also happened to come back to the company.
Yeah.
Mm.
I
So
think he beat him for a belt, actually.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So boom, there you go.
That's why.
Alright.
So just
That's
like
a valid reason,
just
'cause
like
they beat Jeff Hardy. Okay.
just like certain people hate Brock Lesnar for ending the
I
streak.
love Brock Lesnar. Love him.
I love Brock Lesnar too.
He's just such some
Mhm.
alpha
Did-
male of a person.
Didn't he go to the UFC?
Yeah, and he won.
He did well in UFC.
Brock-
I didn't follow him
Brock
in UFC.
Lesnar straight up took a microphone, looked at another wrestler's eyes, and straight, I don't give a fuck about your kids.
He does it all the time. He's crazy.
Yeah.
He's legit.
I've been trying to think. I don't know if I hated any specific wrestler.
I don't think so either. I mean, like when I was a fan, I hated Triple H as a fan because he was
Heel.
He was the bad guy.
right.
Yeah,
But he was like that bad guy you hate. And Jeff Jarrett too. I didn't like him either. But the only person I hate is Cody Rhodes.
Okay.
See-
I don't have one. I honestly I can't say like there's one wrestler I'm like I fucking hate that guy.
See, Cody Rhodes, I don't mind, but I guess that's because when he was around, like during the Stardust era, and even before that, like I wasn't watching it.
I didn't mind
so,
him then. I just didn't pay attention to him. But when he got like more popular and all this shit,
When he became a main eventer.
yeah, I didn't like him at all. And I was a big fan of AEW the whole time they came up, and I still didn't like him.
Yeah,
I think I do have one.
Yeah.
What?
Wait
Oh
for it.
fuck! What was his name? It was it CeeLo Brown? CeeLo Brown or
D'Lo Brown?
D'Lo Brown.
With the neck thing?
Yeah, that fucking neck thing, dude. Every time he came out, I'm like, dude, so fucking extra, man. Like, calm it down. He had to have had like concussions just from doing that stupid shit.
I don't know.
Like, come on. I'm like, dude, stop it.
Did you hear recently about Ken Shamrock?
They just signed with WWE, yeah.
That's crazy.
Who?
You remember
Ken Shamrock, the UFC guy.
Yes.
He just signed back with WWE.
Wasn't he like a martial artist?
He was a UFC fighter.
But before that, though, he was huge in the Attitude Era.
He was a UFC fighter in the early days of UFC. Then he signed with WWF.
Yeah, but I think I remember him in like a black belt attire.
I mean, he has that's Steve Blackman.
Steve Blackman, that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking of. Fuck,
Yeah.
thank you.
'Cause
All
they,
right.
they had a bunch of like fighters on
The name rings a bell, but I can't place a face to
because
it.
they had Steve Blackman, Ken Shamrock. I'm good for now. What's the other guy's name? Dan Servin. I think that was his name.
Okay.
They had a bunch of people. WCW had a bunch of MMA people too. There was a lot of crossover back then. But Ken Shamrock was probably one of the bigger. Oh, and Ronda, I guess, was one of the bigger ones.
WCW, like watching all those docs.
I got a list for you guys.
What's up?
We'll go top three female wrestlers.
Okay.
'Cause you gotta give it to the women too, man. They're out there doing the same thing.
Personal favorites are like objectively like the greatest wrestlers.
Personal favorite.
Personal favorite.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to think on this one a little
Mm-hmm.
bit. Shit, I like Charlotte.
Okay.
Oh,
I think she's the
fucking
best,
hate Charlotte.
regardless.
I fucking hate Charlotte, man.
I think she's the best.
She's another one I was gonna say that I hate, man.
Okay.
I don't know. I gotta
Great
think.
performer, but just not a fan.
I like heel Bailey. I like her as a heel. I like heels mostly. I don't know if you can notice that. I gotta think on if you can talk about yours while I think of my third one. But Bailey and Charlotte so far.
But we already know his number one is probably Lita.
Lita,
Even though he hates her.
Even though he hates it, it's a
Yeah.
love-hate relationship.
Rhea Ripley.
Oh, I do love Rhea Ripley.
Rhea is the one is she the one that the movie Fighting With My Family is based on?
No, that's Paige.
That's
Paige, thank you. Father.
Soraya is her name now. Soraya.
Then,
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking. Okay.
No, Rhea Ripley is the one with the gauges, the short hair, and like the leg
Metalhead.
tattoos.
Metalhead.
Yeah, she's a metalhead too.
Okay.
Yeah, she's Australian. Yeah, I don't know who to think for my third one, but
Okay.
those two for sure.
My third one.
You don't have three. It's fine.
I do it. I have a few. That's why I've just
I mean,
You
I
try
have
to
a lot,
narrow it down.
but not enough to narrow it down.
See, with my list, you could really see where I fell off with
Yeah.
wrestling, because my top two females are Lita and Trish.
Yeah. They're
After that, because in my generation of wrestling, there weren't that many female
No.
wrestlers like there are now.
Yeah.
There's probably twice as many female
Yeah,
wrestlers
a lot
now
of
than
them.
there are,
Yeah.
which I'm happy for, because like,
Yeah.
dude, it's cool to see like women at it too. It's nice.
And they get a lot of play. They get a lot of time now compared to how they used to.
Dude, before they got like
30
6 minutes,
seconds. Not even 30 seconds.
3-minute matches, and
Unless-
then the men get like 18 minutes and shit. Like, what the fuck?
Unless they were getting naked, they got more time.
Yeah. I.e. Trish. Like, she
Yeah.
was out there fucking.
So my third one would probably have to be Selena Vega.
Yeah, she's not bad. Yeah.
And so she's a newer wrestler. Well, at least from when I started rewatching it.
She the one with Mysterio's son, Dominic?
No, that's Rhea Ripley.
That's Rhea Ripley.
That's Rhea. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
She's the one with
She's with LW.
with the Mexican group.
Yeah.
She's the only girl in the Mexican group.
She's Latina, right?
Yeah, she's
okay.
Puerto Rican or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Dominican, Puerto
Yeah.
Rican, something like
Yeah.
Because honestly, like during like the Diva era, I mean, yeah, there was Lita, there was a lot of good talent, but at the same time, it was a Diva era. I feel like there's a lot better,
Yeah.
performing talent now.
Oh,
there
way
was.
better. Way better.
I saw a meme or a video on social media of, I don't know who the two female wrestlers were,
Uh-huh.
but they reenacted the scary movie fight between the ring girl.
That's Bianca Belair and
Oh, I love Bianca too.
she's great.
So who's the other one? Do you know?
I have to see the clip again.
Okay, but yeah, they reenacted the scene from the scary movie where the ring girl comes out of the TV and the black
Oh,
girl fights
okay,
her?
yeah,
That
yeah,
shit
yeah.
was
I
hilarious.
didn't see that.
I want to know how many people there
Yeah.
recognize that. It was like,
No,
They're
WWE does that from time to time on purpose. Like
Yeah.
when CM Punk had his first UFC fight, they mocked the match of when he got knocked out.
They did.
oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like they reenacted like the whole fucking match on the
Who did AEW or WWE?
WWE.
AEW, I don't think AEW was out at this point yet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I remember, I think it was like 2018 or something when CM Punk was in the UFC. 2016.
When did they start doing that?
What?
Like mocking
Oh,
other
they've
shit.
always been doing it.
Really?
Yeah.
I
They
don't
always
think I
mock
ever.
shit.
I don't think
Yeah.
I ever noticed it as a kid.
They always mock shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like do you remember Gilbert?
Yeah.
It was a mockery of Goldberg.
Well, no, but you're talking about a persona. I'm talking about like where they mock
Like
other
like on camera.
like scenes. Like you
Yeah,
said.
they'll just do random shit. It depends on the wrestler if they want to do it. But
Mhm.
nowadays it's more popular.
Mm-hmm.
Because you see nowadays they like cosplay and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, nowadays,
okay.
yeah.
So it's safe to say it's more popular now than it
Oh,
was
yeah.
back when
It was
in the
more
90s.
acceptable.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the word.
Nowadays it's more like a little cameo that you would catch, you know?
Yeah.
Like I know Jey Uso, he does a lot of the Rock's moves now.
Yeah. Well, he does his whole family's moves.
Mm.
He copies his whole
Well,
family.
that makes sense because they're that same culture, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're like trying to keep that alive, which is cool.
Yeah.
Okay. What else you
All right, so let me ask you this.
Okay.
So, a lot of people love CM Punk,
Right.
you know, but why do a lot of people hate him?
He's a dick.
Hmm?
It's plain and simple. He's a tell you how it is type of guy, and
Now,
got? Next
people,
question.
people don't like him for that.
yeah, because he's straight up. He'll tell you, and this is why he got fired from AEW because he'll confront anyone.
So him getting fired wasn't scripted.
No, he got fired for real.
So let me tell you, when he made his debut I was watching Survivor Series.
Yeah.
You know, I was over at my buddy's house.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it and thinking it's over, but then his music hits and I'm like, no fucking way. And when I saw him, I'm like, damn, so it must have been real, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I didn't know that.
He
You know?
got for real fired.
It was one of those situations where you just didn't think would happen ever, you know?
So
The only thing that I know is that 10 years or so ago was he got fired from WWE and he was banned for life.
he didn't technically get fired. He walked out on them,
Right. My
and
bad,
then
my
they
bad.
fired him
Mhm.
because he never came back.
Sorry, CM Punk fans, he walked
Yeah.
out. Don't
he
attack
did.
me.
He
Yeah.
did. He lost them. He got fired on
Yeah.
his wedding day, which he held a grudge to.
Oh,
So I generally like CM Punk, and even though I don't agree with some of the shit he says, I like him because he's like, this is what I stand for, and that's it. There's nothing else. I don't like that he went back to WWE because he spent the last 10 years just talking all this shit, how he hated it, he's never going back, and look at him now. And now he's back, but what are you going to do? I'm not a big fan of hypocrites, and he kind of seemed a little hypocritical to me.
And that's just him, like, being CM Punk. That's not even the reason why he got fired, right?
No, he got fired because it was just a build up a bunch of shit. So it all started from have you heard this wrestler called Colt Cabana?
Yes.
He's a Chicago wrestler. He was friends with CM, they were from Chicago. He was friends with CM
And it's
Punk.
crazy because the only thing I knew about this beef was that he had it, with that Jungle Kid, Jack
Jungle
Perry.
Boy?
Yeah.
Luke Perry's kid?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, no, that's not his. Way more than that. So what started was he got into it. He was friends with this Colt Cabana guy, and I think he went on his podcast and he talked a bunch of shit about WWE. Honest. But after all that, Colt Cabana had a podcast and they had some kind of disagreement over money, I think it was, and they just turned on each other and started talking shit and sued each other and hated each other.
CM Punk and Cole.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when AEW started, it was started by Colt Cabana's friends, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, and stuff like that. So
Wasn't Cody a part of that too?
Yeah, all of them. They're all Colt Cabana's friends, all like those indie wrestlers.
Mhm.
So when CM Punk came, it was basically, well, you're either with Colt or you're with CM Punk. And that's kind of what started the whole tension.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it was just tribalism. So it was basically when he showed up, he split the locker room in half. It's either you're on my side or you're on their side, the Elite or Punk.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they made that separate collision show. Because after he got in trouble that first time, do you remember how he got in trouble the first time or no?
Nope.
Okay,
See, like,
so the first time
see, ironically, I was at CM Punk's AEW debut.
the Rampage.
Yep.
Yeah, you told me.
Mhm.
Right. So the first time he got in trouble. Okay, so when he first came to AEW, the Young Bucks, Hangman, all their friends, they were taking like shots at CM Punk
Okay.
because they were blaming him for because they when he got there they moved Cole Cabana to the Ring of Honor and like they took him off the main show and they were blaming Punk. They were playing Punk for that and they were saying Punk was trying to get him fired and all this
Okay.
bullshit. So, um, the Elite, which is the people opposite of Punk, were talking shit about him. They were taking shots, the promos and stuff like that. And then Punk was taking shots back.
Mhm.
So what happened one day is after a pay per view, I think it was called All In. I think that was the pay per view. Punk just won the title from Moxley, I think.
Dean Ambrose.
Dean Ambrose. And they, how they have that post conference, that post interview thing, that post game.
Pause.
So you know how like sports have like post game interviews or whatever the fuck you want to call them. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
AEW started doing that. That's why WWE does it.
Really?
Yeah.
I noticed that.
Yeah, because AEW does it. So during that post thing when Punk won the title, he just started talking mad shit about everyone in the company. He's like, I'm tired of working with these fucking
Oh,
kids.
is that when
Yeah.
is that when you said, "Oh, it's because I work with fucking children"?
Yeah, and he was eating the muffin from that
Yup.
place up north, and he just kept talking.
He was taking off the tape.
Yeah, that's it.
I saw
he was
that clip.
talking mad shit, and then he kept using Cole Cabana's real name. He's like, let me tell you about Scott, and he explained everything. He's like, I'm just tired of working with these fucking kids. I'm old, I'm tired, I'm grumpy. So he got suspended from that.
I saw that shit
Yeah,
too.
that was the
So
first
wait,
thing.
they do a post like show
Yeah.
about.
Like a press conference.
A press conference. That's the word I was trying to think of.
Oh my
Black
god!
sports,
For
yeah.
wrestling?
Yeah. So AEW started doing it. WWE does it now too. But AEW started doing
But the
it.
thing is,
Is it a separate show or is it part of?
It's just like on YouTube. It's just the.
Oh,
yeah.
it's not. It's not like with like right after SmackDown or right
No,
after. Oh, okay.
sometimes they're in character, sometimes they're not. It's just like a legit. press
AEW is
conference.
never in character. WWE, you can tell that it's straight up scripted.
It depends on the person.
It depends on the
Christian goes in character. He's always in character. So yeah. But yeah, so they did that, and he just was talking mad shit. I'm sick of these kids. All this bullshit he was talking about.
And Tony Khan was just sitting there,
Just
all
sitting there
awkward,
like, awkward as fuck, because he's
Yeah.
just rambling, like cursing and saying, fuck these kids, and I'm tired of this shit.
Oh, wow.
So he got suspended for that for like, well, he got hurt during the match, and then he was suspended and hurt for like 6 months. And then he came back and they gave him his own TV show called Collision. So
That was CM Punk show?
that was CM Punk show.
What?
Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm talking my hands.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They gave that show to CM Punk because Tony Khan's like, he's a big like mark, the term, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave him a show.
See, I know that it debuted it in the United States, but I didn't know that was like
That was his show.
They made it.
So
for
that was
him.
the problem too, because he was running the show. It was only anyone he liked and anyone that he allowed to like. He was very toxic. He's a very toxic person.
Toxic.
Yeah, he was kicking people out. If people showed up to do shit and he didn't like them, he would kick them out. Do you know?
See, the fucking CM Punk fans that I know never told me any of this.
He's toxic. He's toxic. I like him. He's just toxic as shit. You know Dolph Ziggler?
Yes.
His brother works for AEW. His brother talks shit about CM Punk on Twitter.
Who's his brother?
His name is Ryan Nemeth. He's just like some bottom of the card.
He's not a wrestler?
He's a wrestler, but he's just bottom of the card. His brother said some shit. His Dolph's brother said some shit on Twitter about CM Punk. And CM Punk, he went to Collision to film some kind of vignette. CM Punk found his ass, cornered his ass in the locker room. He's like, I'm right here, pussy. Talk shit to my face. If you got something to say it to my face.
True Chicago,
Yeah.
bro. I love it.
And that's the shit he would do. That's why people wouldn't like him.
Mm-hmm.
But he was toxic. And, he had this whole toxic show. And that's when he got into it with Luke Perry's kid, Jack Perry. All because Jack Perry wanted to punch a windshield. A real windshield, and CM Punk's like, no, you're gonna hurt your hand or you're gonna cut yourself. And,
Yeah.
which is it's logical,
Right.
But
Why the fuck did he want to punch a real windshield?
because kid, he's stupid. Yeah, so that's what happened, and then Punk was talking shit about him. They were talking shit about each other, and then during that Wembley show they had in London, Punk finished his match, and Jack Perry was coming for his match. They bumped into each other and got into an actual fight.
Oh.
And
But why did they get into a fight though?
It's just to build attention. It's just because
Didn't he say a comment though during the actual match that pissed off Punk?
Jack Perry did like a couple weeks ago. He said something about glass. I don't remember the actual terms, but they
So
were taking shots at each other.
So that's the part of the story that I know. The only part that I know actually was that during Jack Perry's match,
Yeah.
he did some move to whoever he was fighting that day.
Yeah.
And he straight up like he looked at the camera and he said
something about glass,
he said
yeah.
something about the windshield with the glass, you know, taking
Yeah.
a shot at CM
This is
Punk
real or something like
about
that, yeah.
conversation, you know, about wanting to use real glass.
Yeah, but it's all that tension that built up.
So right after the match when he had went backstage, CM Punk was waiting for him, you know.
Oh no, it wasn't then.
Ah.
It was during the London show. Punk
Okay.
just beat Samoa Joe, and then Jack Perry had a match with Taz's son, Hook, and they bumped into each other. And I think one of them, it was probably Punk. Punk said, "Are you gonna fucking do something about it?" And they got into a fight. And I think Punk almost hurt Tony Khan, and that's why Tony. Well, that's what Tony says. That's
Yep. Yeah, because he got scared.
Yeah, because he was throwing shit all over the place. It was a fucking. I think actually Punk choked him out. That's what ended up happening.
Shit.
He put him in the chokehold and choked his ass out.
Damn.
Yeah, yeah, but that's when he got fired. That's after that he just got fired. But it's a bunch of shit. He's been doing shit forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you added on half of that shit.
And
man.
there's still a lot more. He
like what? Like
he didn't like Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy couldn't go to Collision because he didn't like Matt Hardy.
Really?
He just didn't like people.
he had beef with Matt.
He had beef with a lot of people.
The Hardy Boys are in AEW now. That's what they're fighting.
Yeah. If he didn't like you, you weren't allowed on the show. Straight up.
Wow.
And he'll talk hella shit about you, but you can't talk shit about him. He's one of those people. So.
And but why is it? Why are you saying it's his show? Like, cause
they made it. So they made that show for him because he couldn't get along with the other people on the main show.
and then he still couldn't get along with people on his own thing.
He was getting along with people on his own. Well, there were
Oh.
some people that were slipping through that he started not getting along with.
Oh, okay.
But he started running his shit
that's
like
wild.
it's my shit.
Damn.
You do what I want. And it was different when he was there versus when he's not there anymore.
Okay.
But yeah, they gave him the show to like separate them, and it didn't work out. Yeah, it didn't work out. He got into it with more people. He tried. You remember Rusev?
Nero, right?
Nero. He tried to
Nero.
get into it with him, which was stupid. That dude is huge. If you look this dude up, he's fucking massive.
Yeah.
I don't know why he would try to get into it with this guy. He's like 6'4", 300 pounds. He's huge.
And mind you, CM Punk's like not even 6 feet, right?
He's around 6 foot. Yeah, he's around 6 foot. Probably like 180.
I was gonna say, but he's not.
He's skinny. Yeah.
Yeah,
not that
he's a
big.
skinny guy.
No, this dude is like 6'4", pure muscle, 300 pounds.
You're an idiot.
He was trying to get
Like,
into it with him.
There's tough, and then there's just stupid. Like
Yeah,
you're
that's
you're
stupid. Fuck, he'll kill you. He'll straight up kill you.
like okay, you're tough, but learn when to shut the hell up.
Yeah.
You're not gonna take down everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. What do you got any more?
So basically, he just started picking fights with.
He's a dick. He's a dick. That's really what it is. He's very opinion based. He stands by his opinions. If you don't like it, fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
So I heard that he fucking made a deal with Triple H, more or less, saying that we'll let you come back as long
He's
as
gotta behave.
you keep your fucking mouth
Yeah,
shut.
he's a behavioral clause. If he misbehaves, they fire him. So, but I mean, that was kind of bullshit to begin with, because so they had the post match thing, and they had Triple H next to CM Punk, and Triple H is like, yeah, we took him back because people change,
Mm-hmm.
blah blah blah. I'm like, he just got fired like a month ago. What do you mean people change?
Yeah, nobody changes that fast.
He got suspended. He came back, still bullshitted, and then got fired. And you think he's gonna change? I don't think he's gonna change, but we'll see.
Well, I mean, that behavior clause makes sense because of like look at your track
He's
record.
toxic.
Yeah, like dude, you got to put like some kind of leash on him.
Well, even then, before he went to AEW, when WWE was at Fox, they signed him to like this little talk show they had. He was doing commentary for the show, and he got fired from the show because he couldn't control himself there either. He gets everywhere. That's just how he is.
Jesus.
But
Damn,
yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, you like him or you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
yeah.
What else you got?
I had something in mind too. I fucking forgot what I was gonna say. What I was gonna ask.
Do you want me to talk about the bullshit of Hulk Hogan? Why people don't like him?
Yeah, please.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want to know this.
This guy
Okay.
is just. Hey, we're talking about Punk being toxic. This guy's one of the most toxic people
Really?
ever.
Yeah.
would refuse to lose to people.
He never wanted to put anybody over.
Never wanted to lose to anyone unless he knew he was gonna get his win back. That was like a thing with him. If you beat me, I have to beat you back. Otherwise, there's no shit. When he went to WCW, the main thing is he got creative control, which means he could do whatever the fuck he wanted.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
He couldn't say anything. But he abused the shit out of it.
Yeah.
He's a liar. He's a big time liar.
Yeah.
He lied about the Undertaker injuring him.
He lied about injuring the Undertaker. He just lies about bullshit. He said Elvis Presley used to go back and watch him. He lies about shit that you can easily prove. He doesn't know Google exists. I'm serious. So he said one time he wrestled 400 days a year, which, yeah. His explanation
That
is
math ain't mathing, dude.
his
Like, what are you
explanation
doing?
is because he flies back and forth from Japan so much, the days somehow add up to 400.
That's not how time works, though.
he said that. He said Elvis Presley used to watch him wrestle, which Elvis died before he even started wrestling.
He said he tried out for Metallica.
He said he tried out as the bassist for Metallica. No, he said Metallica wanted him to try out as the bassist, which wasn't true. Lars said it. They're like, no, we never even thought about it.
Like, does he even play bass? Yeah,
He does play bass. He's
He
like,
does?
That's
Oh,
just
okay.
like he wanted to be a rock star. That's like his dream.
But
Yeah.
no, I meant like Metallica's probably like
No, hell
they don't
no.
know he plays
No,
bass.
no,
That's
no.
why they're like,
That's bullshit.
does he play bass? Like,
No, that was bullshit. Let me see what else bullshit lies he thought. What?
So he's probably literally like diagnosed with like a compulsive liar.
He's a 100% compulsive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
one of the most controversial things that he's ever done was it Bash at the Beach?
Yeah.
So Bash at the Beach, WCW. Vince Russo, another toxic name in wrestling.
Yeah, big time.
Um,
He's actually the whole person who started the Attitude Era.
yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
he's the main part behind the Attitude Era.
Oh
Yeah.
shit, dope.
And,
Yeah.
And right after that, he went to WCW. You know, WCW thinking that they
can replicate.
right,
yeah.
that they can say WCW because it was already on the brink. So Hulk Hogan, Vince Russo was obviously in charge. Eric Bischoff was also in charge. Both of them didn't like each other. One of them wanted, a different ending than the other for Hulk Hogan's match, which was up against Jeff Jarrett, who was the champion, right?
Yeah.
So Hulk Hogan, obviously being Hulk Hogan, wanted the belt.
Right. He wanted to win a specific way too.
Mm-hmm.
That was the whole big thing.
And he knew that it was bullshit. And everybody else wanted, Jeff Jarrett to win. So it was planned and whatnot. So from what it's like two different stories. It's Vince Russo's story and then
Yeah,
there's Eric
they've
Bischoff's.
never told the truth on that completely, but it's got to be Hulk Hogan bullshitting. It's really what it's got to be. But what ended up happening was Jeff Jarrett walked into the ring.
It's pretty crazy.
Laid down.
He
Hulk
laid-
Hogan put his foot on him. They pinned him, and that was it.
What?
And they
Because Vince Russo was all like, "You want the fucking belt?
Take
There you
it.
go,
Yeah.
take it." So he had Jeff Jarrett walk into the ring, lay down, and then fucking Hulk Hogan's like, "What the hell did you say? This is why this company is."
He's like, that's why this company is a state of this because of bullshit like this.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
it was yeah. And they both say it's real or it's not. We never know the truth. And with Hulk Hogan, you can't fucking.
And then,
tell.
Right.
Yeah.
So right after that happened, Vince Russo comes out back to the ring and starts talking all this shit
And
about
when
Hogan.
was this?
98, 99, something like. No, Bash at the Beach 2000, I think it was.
Oh, okay.
It was right when WCW was dying.
So and that was like a pay-per-view event, or
Yeah.
oh
Big
my
one.
god,
It was a big
dude,
one.
Yep.
I would have been
They were
pissed if I
supposed to-
paid to see that.
They were supposed to have a whole match, and he
Mhm.
just came out, laid down, and did that.
Yeah.
Well, did you ever hear about the finger poke of doom?
No.
So hold on, yeah. So to conclude that particular segment, Vince Russo comes back out to the ring, basically puts Hulk Hogan on blast, saying that he wanted to use his creative control, basically using
Yeah.
kayfabe, another wrestling
Yeah.
term, putting him on blast, firing him too, and then he says that we're gonna give you guys a different match. It ends up being Booker T versus
Jeff Jarrett. I think.
Jeff Jarrett, yeah, and Booker T ends up winning the belt.
Yeah.
So in a way, he kind of ended up finishing, that particular event. It's just, the way how that went down was pretty funny.
Well, the whole thing about WCW is that WCW hired all these older people from WWE, and these older people, when they went in WCW, they just were toxic. Because wrestling was like really toxic back then. It was very political.
Mhm.
So these older people wouldn't let like the newer guys be stars. They kept pushing them down. A lot of them had contracts actually where if someone came in making more money than them, they automatically made more money than them. Their contract automatically gets bumped up. A lot of bullshit like
That's
that.
why people kept coming to WCW.
Yeah,
for
they would
that
just
reason.
pay people a ridiculous amount of money. I know Scott Hall and Kevin Nash had that contract. If
Wrestling.
someone showed up and made more money than you automatically got a raise to make more money than them. And it was like,
shit.
and then Kevin Nash would like,
That was part of their contract?
yeah.
What the fuck?
And then Kevin Nash would like purposely go to the younger guys,
You know Kevin
push
Nash,
them
right?
to get a raise, so he could get
so
a
like
money.
go and ask for this amount,
Yeah,
and
and
that
so
can
he
more?
could get a raise too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
So-
toxic.
So speaking of Kevin Nash, finger poke of doom. You probably can explain the whole backstory behind it. Long story short, it's literally a finger poke of doom. NWO was in the ring. It's the original NWO at this point.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, and Scott Hall. And I think was it Kevin Nash?
Kevin Nash had the title.
Kevin
Yeah.
Nash had the belt at the time, so being that they were allies, you know, he just pokes his ass.
Well, they were building up this match. So
They were building it up.
because this was like towards the beginning of the NWO, so like the NWO was like this unstoppable group, and
It
like
became an unstoppable force.
everyone fucking hated them, and they were building up. Kevin Nash won the title, and Hogan wanted the title, and they were building up this tension that they might break up and fight each other and all this bullshit, right?
Uh-huh.
So when it came to the actual match, they went up to each other. Hulk Hogan poked him in the chest. Kevin Nash fell, and then Hogan pinned him, and they all got up and started celebrating and jumping and
Oh
hugging
my
each other.
god,
Yeah.
what is up with Hulk Hogan and people laying down, dude? Like, what the hell?
That's actually
That's
like
Hulk Hogan, creative control.
that's considered. People consider that the day that wrestling died. But he did a lot of shit like that.
Oh, wow.
Because it's creative control. It was his way or
Mhm.
nothing.
Yeah.
He was a toxic guy. He they used to get paid by like the gates, by the number of tickets they sold and the ratings. Hulk Hogan knew which towns historically had low ratings, and he would not go to those shows on purpose. And then he would go to the shows where the towns had high ratings, and then he would go to Turner, the people that own WCW, and he'd say, "See, when I'm on the show, look how high the ratings are, and
Oh,
when I'm not on
God.
the show, look how low they are.
Yeah.
And so you owe me more money."
Yeah.
He would do shit like that all the
Yeah.
time.
Did they know that he was doing that, or did they believe him?
They believed them because
Oh, shit.
so they're kind of the reason why WCW started failing was because Ted Turner sold his company to AOL.
Okay.
Before they sold it to AOL, Ted Turner let them do whatever they wanted, but when AOL bought it, they kind of ran it like a corporation. They started telling them what to do and all that
Oh,
bullshit,
okay.
and that's when they started like dying because AOL was like, well, you got to be more kid friendly. You got to
Yeah,
They
yeah,
started
yeah.
limiting them and shit like, and then they were believing Hulk because Hulk Hogan was like the main star and he was bringing all his bullshit ass friends and yeah, he was bringing all his
lying
friends.
about everything.
Yeah, a lot of bullshit. Yeah, he's a big liar.
Mhm.
You should go on YouTube one day and let's look up Hulk Hogan lies. There's hours of videos of just bullshit.
Yeah,
he
look
said.
up finger poke of doom.
Yeah. Finger Poke of Doom.
Look up
Bash at the Beach.
Bash at the Beach.
2000, I think it is. It's a lot of bullshit. And I mean, I don't know if you ever heard about the Montreal Screwjob too.
You haven't heard of the Montreal Screwjob?
That's another thing of
No.
bullshit.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you want to explain it or not.
I know about that one a
Yeah.
lot more. So Montreal, you know who Bret Hart is, right?
Of course.
So Bret Hart, his contract was ending. This was during the Attitude Era.
Yep.
And there were talks of him going to WCW. Vince McMahon, being Vince McMahon, was scared that he was going to take the title with him.
Well, here, let me add this. Vince was telling Bret Hart in the background, "I can't afford to pay you," because this was before the Attitude Era like really rose. They were actually about to go out of business back then. WCW was literally putting them out of business.
Yeah, they were winning at one point. WCW.
Yeah, they were killing them. They were about to go out of business. WWE.
Yep, at one point, WCW were beating them in ratings.
Actually, I think I remember that. Yeah.
This was before the Attitude Era, so it was like right when like DX started and all that.
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. Then that's where they took back
Yeah, that's
the
what they took
ratings.
off.
Yeah, I
But-
think I remember that.
So that shit was happening, and Vince was telling Bret Hart, "I can't afford to pay you. If they're offering you this kind of money, just take it." So he was telling him that. So go ahead. Yeah.
That's when Sting was huge, right?
In
With
WCW.
Yeah, that's
when
they were
NWO and everything.
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
killing them.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
So Vince McMahon was scared that Bret Hart was going to take the title with him.
because that's happened before too.
Yeah, with what's her name?
Medusa.
Medusa.
Would they take the title to
Yeah,
the
so-
what?
And she
How
literally
is that even possible?
she dumped it on camera too.
Yeah, no. Her contract expired when she was the champion. Vince thought she was gonna resign. She didn't. She went to WCW. She showed up on Nitro, which was their show, with the belt and talked a bunch of shit and then dumped it in the garbage in front of the camera.
That's fucking crazy. Because
Yeah,
I'm like, how can they take the belt with them? I thought that was...
She just didn't give it back. She
just
had
didn't
it.
give it
Yeah.
back?
Oh, well, yeah, they have the
Yeah.
physical belt.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
I meant like, oh, okay, well, if that's what you're talking about, I thought you meant like the title. She took the whole thing, like they couldn't use it anymore.
No, I mean she took the physical belt.
Yeah, but they just made a new one, and it's like, all right, fuck it.
But I mean, she still threw in the garbage on live TV.
Yeah, dude, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, so even though Bret Hart and Vince had an agreement that he wasn't gonna take the title, he was gonna like give it up, and he was gonna do it the right way.
Do it the right way.
Vince McMahon was just scared, because that was gonna definitely put them out of business, and definitely that would have made WCW win.
And Shawn Michaels was very toxic in his ear.
So it was versus Shawn Michaels.
He was super toxic.
So, anyways, in the middle of the match, Shawn Michaels was going for a sharpshooter, which was Bret Hart's signature move. During the sharpshooter, you know how during a submission you tap out to lose the match and whatnot. The bell just rings out of nowhere. He didn't tap or nothing. The bell just rings. But sure enough, Vince McMahon was on the outside of the ring, and you actually hear him yelling like, "Ring the bell! Ring the fucking bell!" And
spot on, Vince McMahon.
Yep. And you just saw Bret Hart's reaction, spat in his face and everything.
He supposedly punched Vince in the locker room.
Yep, he even on camera spelled out the words WCW right after that happened.
Because the whole thing was Bret's contract ended that night.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, and Bret was champion, but Bret didn't want to lose the belt in Canada to Shawn Michaels,
his hometown,
his home country. So he told them, "I'll win, and then the next night in Raw, I'll come work for free and give him the belt in the United States." But Vince didn't trust him, so Vince came up with a plan.
Because of what happened before?
Yeah, I guess, or he was paranoid because a lot of people left his company to go to WCW, and so he came up with that whole plan where they literally just said he tapped and he didn't tap, and they took the belt off him forcibly. Yeah, to his own move at that. So
damn,
it was
fucked up, dude.
Yeah, man. No, trust me. There's a lot of politics involved.
Oh shit! I mean, Triple H is super toxic.
Yeah.
He was super toxic back in the day.
Oh, but I thought you meant now.
No,
Okay.
I don't know how he is now, but back in the day, he was toxic.
There's a reason why certain wrestlers, aren't really wrestling anymore. There's a reason why certain superstars didn't really get the push that certain other ones did.
Because they got buried by the stars. They wouldn't let them take their spot.
Yep.
They're literally fighting for spots.
They would find any reason to complain about him, and it'll put him,
Yeah, I mean Triple H did it all the time. When WCW when WWE bought WCW and brought all those wrestlers in, Triple H literally one by one buried every single person from WCW. He made sure they didn't look good at all. He beat them all, every single one.
Every single one of them.
Yeah, and he made them look bad at that.
Man.
But he had the political power back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, if there's anything else that, you guys want us to talk about, I'm sure he knows it. Let us know in the comments.
A lot of wrestling stuff.
And also, like, if there's anything that, like, I probably got wrong or might have missed, do apologize ahead of time. Like I said, just here for the shits and giggles. So, I mean, that's all I got for wrestling. I mean, unless you got anything else you want to add or mention.
I can talk forever about it, so we're
The boys, you gonna get to that?
Oh, the boys, man. Oh, speaking of the boys, have you seen that season 4 trailer?
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. Pretty cool looking.
Man, Jeffrey Dean Morgan. That's
yes.
That's all I gotta say. Don't know his character, but
I don't
from what
give a shit.
From what I've seen, it looks like he's gonna be an ally. Who knows, man? There's that fucking show always throws us surprises at us.
Mm-hmm. I'm just when I saw him in there, I was excited.
Did you know that he was gonna be in the show?
Did not know he was gonna be on there at all.
Did they just drop this out of nowhere? Yeah,
they did.
See, like I knew about it already because they announced it.
I didn't know about that.
They announced Jeffrey Dean was gonna be in there.
Yeah,
I didn't know when.
I didn't know that.
Like last year or two.
What the fuck?
Yeah, they've been announced it.
Oh shit. Okay.
They just never really announced his character.
Okay. So yeah, I like how it's gonna pick up right where Gen V
left
off. It looks like it's gonna be good. We see one scene where Homeland is just covered in blood.
Yeah,
I
not,
saw it
he
in the
just
elevator.
smiles.
In the elevator, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
and not just that, but from what I like, there's a Black Norn now, so it kind of
Yeah, what the fuck is that about?
it kind of makes me wonder: are they gonna do what they did in the actual comics? Because I don't know if you guys know, spoiler alert, guys, but in the comics, Black Noir is actually a clone of Homelander. Um, that Vault made to basically
Surely has spoiler.
Yeah.
that basically Vought made in case Homelander ever got out of line. So it's crazy because in the comics, the whole thing with Butcher, you know, and his baby and Becca, and so in the comics, it was actually Black Noir who was disguised as Homelander that actually raped Becca, and she got pregnant in the comics, but the baby actually, you know, like killed her from the inside. So then, you know, Butcher ends up killing the baby and whatnot. But like I said, it kind of framed Homelander, and that's what kind of, you know, did the whole
Yeah.
death of Homelander storyline. So it kind of makes me wonder if that's what they're gonna go for in season 4. Are they gonna find is this a clone of Homelander that's under that Black Noir costume? You
Oh
know?
shit. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So in the comics, they went the direction that
Yeah,
Butcher thought
so
in the
right
show happened.
in the show it's kind of similar in a way. The only difference is that the child actually got to grow up. It is Homelander's baby, but the real Homelander's kid, you know.
Mhm.
And Becca did die, but just, you know, she was killed by Stormfront.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean it's exciting.
Yeah, I can't wait for it.
That sounds
A
cool.
lot of
Mhm.
shit to definitely a lot of shit to look forward to, man. Alright, that's all I have for tonight, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you again for Firefist for being with us tonight. Thank you again for J-Rock from Till the End of the Line podcast. Make sure you go ahead and follow that podcast. If you guys want to go ahead and get to know us a little bit better, follow Darth Demonio on Instagram, follow Firefist on Instagram. Anything else you guys want us to talk about, or smoke, jam, or listen to, let us know in the comments. Until then, see you guys in hell.